Today we're going to be covering some breaking news about the man accused of the Palisades Fire. Let's get to the content.
Jury deliberations are underway in the trial of the man accused of starting a fire that eventually became the devastating Palisades Fire. The defendant is facing up to 45 years behind bars. KTLA's Eric Swillman live in downtown LA with the latest. Eric, good morning. Morning, Frank. The jury here began deliberating here at this federal courthouse at 8 this morning, and they are deciding whether the man who's on trial here is ultimately responsible for setting the fire that led to the deadly Palisades blaze, or whether he's being made into...
They said they're trying to see if he's ultimately responsible. He's arrested for it already, and he's facing up to 45 years in prison, and they said they're trying to decide whether he's responsible for starting the fire. Okay, let's get back to the content. Responsible. He's arrested. So why is he arrested if he's not responsible? All right, let's get back to the content.
Scapegoat for the entire disaster. Jonathan Rinderknecht is the name of the man on trial. He is a former Uber driver. He's charged with 3 counts of arson. Prosecutors say he intentionally started the Lachman Fire early New Year's Day in 2025. That fire was thought to have been extinguished, but it smoldered underground and then reignited days later to become the Palisades Fire, which killed 12 people and destroyed 6,500 homes and other buildings. Now,
Okay, they said he was responsible for starting the Lachman Fire, which in terms, the Lachman Fire was thought to be extinguished, but it smoldered underground, reignited, and that's what caused the Palisades Fire. So tell me what you think, people. Is he responsible for the Palisades Fire? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, people.
In a closing argument, prosecutors told the jury that Rinderknecht hated wealthy people like those that lived in the Palisades because he believed they were enslaving common people like him. Prosecutors argued that Rinderknecht was the only person who could have started the fire.
So his justification for starting the fire was because he hated rich people and he thought they were enslaving common people like yourself. Man, what do you mean? Enslaving common people? They're not enslaving you. Get you a job, just like they tell everyone else. Get it, pull your bootstraps up and work hard. That's what they say. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and work hard. Like, you got to work hard. You can't just go deliberately setting fires because you don't like a certain group of people. And what kind of idiocracy is that?
They have called multiple witnesses that showed that he was present on the scene, that he had the means to start the fire with the lighter, that his cell phone data places him there, that he talked about starting this type of destruction and essentially waging a war on billionaires.
So he talked about waging a war on billionaires and causing destruction. Well, his cell phone data places him in the vicinity of where the fire began. So it might be a whole heap of trouble for this guy because he killed people and burnt up plenty of homes. He caused a lot of damage. So this guy is in what I would say a whole heap of trouble. Let's get back to the content.
The prosecutor told the jury court the defendant at this time in his life blamed the rich and the powerful. The Pacific Palisades represents all of that. He lit that fire to take back power, to feel some sense of control. The Pacific Palisades and the Malibu area burned, and thousands of people paid the price for the defendant's unchecked anger, end quote. But the defense attorney for Rinderknecht argued in his closing that there is no evidence to prove how the fire started, no eyewitnesses who saw Rinderknecht starting it, and no video connecting him to the crime.
Well, they said there's his defense attorney argues that there's no evidence of him starting a crime. There's no eyewitnesses there's no proof of how the fire started. So, you know, that's a decent argument from his defense. But at the same time, if we have cell phone data of him being in the vicinity, if his cell phone data places him in the vicinity of the fire, and he had like the means to start the fire, which the woman said he had the lighter, and well, it's kind of likely. And then and not only does he talk about waging war against billionaires, all of the people in the areas that burnt up, Malibu and Palisades, that's where the rich people live in Los Angeles. Well, a lot of them outside the Hollywood Hills, Well, we'll see what goes on. Tell me what you think, people. Tell me what you think. What led his mind to believe he should wage a war on billionaires and cause all of this destruction? Don't he know that billionaires are heavily insured? Everything they have, all the material things, assets that they have, they're insured. So it's like you wage the war, you help them get more money. You help them add more money to their billionaire list. You help them add a few extra 100,000 or maybe a few extra $1 million to their bank accounts by doing this. But, prayers up to all the ones that lost their life and all the ones who lost all their property and have to start all over again. Let's get back to the content.
Trial, a defense expert testified that the most likely cause of the fire was fireworks. Defense lawyer Steve Haney told the jury this, quote, you are not to convict a man because you don't like him. Being mad at the rich or hating the rich is not a crime. Half of America hates the rich. You cannot convict Jonathan based on his character, and you can't punish him for his opinions because you don't like him.
They said half of America hate the rich. I don't hate the rich. I don't. I'm part of America. I don't hate the rich at all. As a matter of fact, I respect the rich because I respect the way they got rich and how they're able to stay rich. So we need to really be taking lessons from the billionaires and from the rich people on how to be in the position that they are in. Let's get back to the content.
Quote, this jury has now deliberated a total of about 2 hours and 5 minutes so far. As far as we know, we've not been notified that they've had any questions or that they've asked for any readback of any testimony. They will continue their work until 4 o'clock today if necessary. We'll send it back to you.
Okay, we're going to end this video here. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.